Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network for week 14 of the off season. We've got all of our new equipment hooked up, so this is really cool. I'm not sure if we tell the quality. I hope you do. But yeah, with us today we got Isaac.
What up?
Hey.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh yeah. Sorry. And we got Jameson.
Hey, everybody! Another exciting show. Really quickly, follow us on Twitter, the LCC Network on Twitter. I guess is it Little Critters Clubhouse? I guess is what it's under on there.
Yeah, it's it's Little Critters Clubhouse is what it is, not the LCC Network. But
Yeah.
you follow us there.
Yeah,
We'll
start
be
commenting on videos, liking YouTube videos. In the future, we're going to work on a few giveaways from maybe a website or two, maybe some signed memorabilia, things like that. In order to win it, you'll have to be commenting. So start getting in the groove of that. We'll announce that more here in the future.
the
Today's
real
show,
question is, can we win it though?
we cannot win it. We are not allowed to win the stuff.
Boo.
Isaac's like, I'm going to quit the show
Just so I can win it. Like I won last
just to try to win it. On the show today, LCC Trivia, so about 15 minutes of that. We're going to be 10 questions about all of you guys. It's everything, stats, records, all sorts of things about the owners and the league. After that, we've got Total Rebuild. We're going to each talk about how we would rebuild one of the LCC teams that have struggled in 2019 and maybe even before if they were around longer. And then we've got our first Game of the Week reveal for the schedule reveal that's coming up in 3 weeks. So it's a jam-packed episode.
And it's going to be no spoilers. It's Bryson versus Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. That is
probably one of the more evenly matchups for sure if that did happen.
That's the toilet bowl game of last year. That is not the game of the week.
Last year they didn't play last year. This would be like the worst game possible for this coming year. Headlines, T-shirts. I see it right now.
We're going to talk a lot about them on today's show when we do rebuild. So let's kick it off into trivia.
Let's play Family Feud.
Welcome to Feud. I had to find that was the easiest one to find. All right, so for you guys, anyone that's listening, we've played this before. It's a little more put together.
Good answer.
We've got 10 questions, all LCC owners. Each of you guys are going to have until the end of the sound that I play to give me an answer. I'll call on each of you, and you'll give me the answer. All right, here, I'll play the sound just so everyone knows what exactly it's going to be. So when that's over, I'll call on one of you guys. You give me the answer, and then we'll tally the points, and whoever has the most right answers wins. It's all multiple choice because there is a lot of obscure things I'm sure no one in the league knows, but we'll kind of see what you guys think and give everyone time at home to play too.
All right, so what do we get when we win or when I win?
Bragging rights. That's it. You know what the budget for the show is? $0. So $0. So we cannot give anything away right now.
Damn.
So bragging rights, but we'll jump into it if you guys are ready. Ready for question 1?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
So question 1, if everyone play along at home, feel free to stop it if you need more time to think about it. But
do I just jump out and say the answer, right?
No. I'm going to call on one of you, and then on the next question, I'll call on the other one. But I'm going to call on both of you. I'll take turns calling who I call.
So it'll be just
first.
like Family Feud, basically.
Yes, but I'm going to call on both of you for the answer. So
gotcha.
So don't scream out like, oh, I know this one, because then if the other guy doesn't, he'll just pick the same answer as you. See what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Here we go. First question: which LCC owner holds the record for the most points in a single game ever? Jade, Jordan, Billy, or Cody? All right, Isaac, we'll start with you. Who is it?
Billy.
Patrick?
Billy.
It is Billy. All right, you both got one. Anyone know how much it was?
Easy.
Anybody know how much?
412? 412 or something?
Nope.
No,
not
wasn't it under 400? It was like
399
something.
or 398, something like that.
398.
Yeah.
398. It was week 4 of 2018 last season. He broke the record.
I remember. He
So
was
you
so
both got 1
pissed because
point.
he didn't break 400.
He didn't break 400. Yeah, exactly. All right, question number 2. Which LCC owner has the highest career winning percentage? They had to have played 24 games, so basically 2 seasons. Is it Hunter, Cody, Patrick, or Isaac? All right, Pat, who is it?
Hunter.
Isaac?
I'm gonna go with Hunter also.
Yeah, it's Hunter. So he has a 74.1 percentage
You got a
record.
shootout.
He's 20. He's 20-7 in his career. So
But
he's been pretty
I
successful.
really think that's just because who he played. That's not because of like how talented his team is. I'm just saying.
Ooh,
Hunter.
shots fired.
For real, man.
You need the gun sound effects?
Yeah, we need to get some.
Apparently, I'm
Man,
shooting
Hunter,
with a
you
musket
can-
now.
Hopefully he comments on this video and calls you out on that crap. All right, number 3.
Ooh.
Who is the only LCC owner to score 20,000 total career points? Is it Matt, Jade, Cody, or Cameron? All right, Isaac.
I feel like I'm gonna get this wrong and Pat's gonna get this right. I'm gonna say Jade.
All right, Pat.
Cameron.
No, you're both wrong. It's Cody. Cody is
Ah,
the
man.
only,
Dude, I
only
thought-
guy.
Hey, good defense,
Thank
Mike.
God.
He
I
has-
knew it was gonna be Cameron or Matt. I was like, well, Cody's been good recently, but Jade's, the quote unquote the best to play in the Hall of Fame and all that crap. So I was just like, well, might as well go with him.
20,464 points. Cody's the only person to achieve 20 grand so far. So,
My bad, Cody.
it's good for him.
20 grand.
20 grand. Number 4. Which LCC owner was the quickest to score 10,000 total career points? Bonus points if you can guess how many games it took. Is it Patrick,
Jeez.
Jordan, Matt, or Jameson? All right, Patrick, who is it?
What'd you call yourself, Jameson? Just say me.
Well, I don't know because I don't know. Anyone that doesn't know my name that's listening, I don't know. I didn't want it to be like who.
I was like, is there another Jameson out there
All
or
right.
something?
Since obviously Jameson thinks very highly of himself, I feel like he put himself the answer for this one. So I'm gonna go Jameson with going a limb here. I don't know, 20 games.
Holy, 20 games.
I'm just throwing out random stuff.
Isaac, who you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say it really sounds like something that you would put in and talk about yourself. Because if I look at all the other ones, there's not really much of you in here. So we were with you in like 35 games.
Yeah, you guys are right. It's me.
Yeah, I knew it. I was like, you would do that.
It is. So 61 games. I was the fastest at 10,000. But
Well, you suck your own dick over there.
There can be multiples. There can be all sorts of things in here. So don't make any assumptions. But yes, that one was me. I didn't want to put myself, but I was running out of things to ask. There's a lot of stuff.
Sure.
I'm surprised that wasn't the first question you asked.
That's right.
No, in all fairness, though, it actually is more of a it's more of a method of like the point total going up, not about me being a great player. Like anyone who is
we know.
later is going to get there higher. So
Yeah,
We know you're not that good. You don't have to explain that.
yeah, you suck. Go ahead.
All right. Which LCC owner had 5 high point weeks in one season? So they scored more points than anybody 5 times in one season. Was it Patrick, Matt, John, or Cody? Any season, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Isaac, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Cody.
All right, Pat.
I'm gonna go with myself.
It is Patrick. Patrick had
I thought so.
he had 5 high point weeks in the 2013 season. No one's ever accomplished more than 4. So
Well, I was
holds the
thinking
record
it
for
was
that.
Cody recently, but I was like, my luck is probably gonna be Pat back when he had nobody to play against back in the day. So I was like, it was between the two.
Cody actually doesn't have that many recently, even though he's scored more points than anyone over the last 2 years. He actually doesn't have that many high point weeks. All right, cool. So here we go. Number 6. Which LCC owner is tied with Patrick with 7 career postseason losses? Is it? This is more than anybody. Is it John, Cameron,
Oh, this one's
Daquan,
tough.
or Colby? All right, Pat, you're up first this time. Who is it?
This is 50-50 for me. I'm gonna go Cameron.
Okay, Isaac, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go with Cameron here too.
All right, yeah, you both got it right.
But hey-
It's Cameron.
Oh, okay.
There's
Whew,
Cameron.
I thought it may be Daquan because he's had a lot of similar seasons that I've had. So I knew it was
Yeah.
one of them.
You and Cameron are tied for the most career postseason losses. And before you guys jump on me about this and Cameron, it's only because Patrick and Cameron have gotten to the postseason more than anybody else by a long shot. So they've lost more, but they've also been way more.
Well, it's also because they've been in here since 2010 or whatever the hell the league started. So
Yeah, well, that's why I had to pick
Oh,
older
yeah.
owners. No one would have believed it was like Isaac, right? He's only been in the league 3 years, So
That's right.
yeah.
All right, number 7. Which owner had the most points ever scored in a loss? Was it Michael, Hunter, Tyler, or Storm? All right, Isaac. Who is it?
Tyler.
Patrick?
I'm gonna go Tyler too.
It's not. It's Storm. Storm
Oh,
had.
man.
Oh,
It was
damn.
about to say, that's his typical Tyler luck. Right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it made so much sense in my head.
Yeah, Storm scored 318 points when he lost to Jordan in Week 6 of the 2018 season. Jordan beat him 354 to 318.
I know Tyler lost at one point when he had scored 300 plus.
Yeah,
One
no,
game.
it was close. There's like 6 losses with 300 plus. Like John was in there, Tyler was in there, Storm. There were a couple other people in there too, but Storm was the most.
Damn, he still had me 1 point.
So number 8, which owner has the largest margin of victory in a game ever? Is it Billy, Cody, Colby, or Jade? Largest margin of victory, Patrick. Who is it?
I'm gonna go with Colby.
All right, Isaac.
I'm gonna go with. And he said largest margin, correct?
Margin, yeah, largest margin.
I'm gonna say Billy.
Billy. So it was Colby. So Patrick got that one right.
Yes.
So here was the game. Colby beat Show Me Those TDs, which I think was Daquan. I think.
No, Show Me Those TDs was a guy that used to be in the league. I'm trying to think. I think it was Taylor.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Taylor Arter.
Colby beat him by 206 points, 394 in Week 7 of 2015. It's the game where Colby became Mr. 300 in that game. So I think it was that year.
I'm pretty much guessing on all these now. It's like there's some that were during my time period, so like I know, and then there's some I have no clue. I'm just picking a random person.
Yeah, there's some that are older for sure. Number 9, which LCC owner was the fastest to score 2,500 points in divisional matchups? Only divisional matchups. Was it Daquan, Peyton, Cameron, or Isaac? All right, Isaac, we'll go to you first. Who is it?
I'm gonna go with me.
All right, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Isaac too.
Yeah, it was Isaac. Isaac is the fastest ever 2,500 points in divisional matchups. He reached it in 11 games, Week 8 of 2018, where he lost to Patrick. That's when he broke that record. Number 10.
Yep.
Which
We just have a lot of tough battles, man.
you guys
That's
do
right.
have a lot of close games. Which owner? Number 10. Final question. This is worth 2 points, so Isaac can catch him here if Patrick loses. Doesn't get it right. Which owner has the best winning percentage in divisional games ever in the LCC? Is it Jordan, Isaac, Jameson, or Hunter?
This is actually a little tough.
Patrick, you're up first.
Man, I don't think you have the guts to put yourself as the answer twice.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I'm going Hunter. I'm going to Hunter.
Isaac, who is it?
I was gonna say your division's usually pretty weak, so it's easy to guess you here. But like you said, for you to pick twice, me and Joy, I'm going Hunter too.
You're gonna go. Okay, so remember, Isaac, you have to give a different one to beat Patrick. So you're gonna go with the same answer.
Okay, fine. You.
All right, you're both wrong. It's Jordan. Jordan has the best win
Oh
percentage in the game.
man.
He's 65.8% of his games. He's 25-13 in divisional matchups, better than anyone else in the league. So that's it for.
I know it wasn't me. I'm like 50-50 with everybody in our division.
Yeah, I know. I knew it wasn't Isaac. I ruled him out pretty quick. Jameson, like I was like Isaac there. I was like, I feel like this should be him, but really Hunter's division might be actually worse than Jameson's. So that's kind of why I went Hunter there.
I think. Well, I had a lot of bad games my first few seasons, which pushed me down. I think I'm in the high 50s or the low 60s, and Hunter's in the low 60s too. So Jordan's in the mid 60s. He's better than we are in that category. So Patrick, you got 7 points. Isaac, 5. So Patrick wins LCC Trivia for week
Hey.
14. So
Was that $80 we bet on Isaac?
that's
Yeah,
what I
I think it was
heard.
80 or
That's
100.
what Isaac told me off the show. $80.
Shit.
Yeah. I think, yeah. No, it was 100. Yeah, it was 100.
All right, guys, that's a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy playing at home. We'll kick it off here in the next segment. I'll toss it over to Isaac for Total Rebuild.
All right. So, like you said, Total Rebuild. We picked some really crappy teams so we could try to make some moves and turn around their fortune for the 2019 season. I so luckily picked Bryson, my little girlies.
Before you jump into it, let me play the sound drop to kick it off. All right.
Is that Madden 05?
That is Madden 05.
Am I remembering that right?
That is Madden 05.
Yeah.
These kids don't know nothing about that,
I was
man.
thinking 04 at first.
I'm about to say Madden sucked until like Madden 12. I mean, it was all about ESPN,
What?
ESPN 2K5, 2K4.
You're insane.
Shit on
Madden 05
Madden.
actually rivaled 2K.
Madden 05 was very good. Very good.
Nah.
Bryson knows nothing about that. Bryson's like, Madden 05.
Bryson,
was like, Bryson born?
I don't even know if he was born. He might have, I'm sure he was born, but no, that was a great song though, man. I love that game.
Nah, all about ESPN 2K5, man, with the cribs.
That
play
was
old
good with the
Steve-O.
crib. Yeah.
Like, dude, I remember the cheat code. Crib Max was the cheat code where you could unlock
to get
everything.
all the stuff, all the banners and the furniture. Yeah.
Dude, I had everybody's jersey up. I had all my teams I supported up. Like, it was the dopest crib out there.
It was a lot of fun, but Madden 05 was great. I wish they would bring something like that back.
I like the radio show in Madden, but I loved like the end of the week wrap up show that 2K would do. Like, man, so ahead of their time.
I like the highlights they did at like halftime and ESPN 2K5.
Oh, dude, I love the highlights,
so
man. That
cool,
was because Chris Berman was the guy that did the halftime show, wasn't it?
Yep. Very cool.
Man, I still can't believe they let him go from ESPN. Chris Berman. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was listening to a YouTube to make some of these sound drops, and I came across the NFL primetime like sounds where it's like da-na-na-na-na. Like remember all of that? Like Monday night or Tuesday at night watching all man. Takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah, now there's a bunch of new people that suck. So
now they suck. Yeah. Jason Witten on Monday night. God, man, get out of here. I just want the old guys back.
Can I go back 10 years?
Yeah, just 10 years. That's all I want. Tom Jackson and Chris Berman and all those guys, man. But
back when Michael Vick was good. Remember that?
Yeah. I remember
T.O.
Back when who was doing Sunday Night Football? Hank Williams Jr. was doing like Sunday Night Football themes and stuff. Man, miss those days.
All right,
but go ahead.
Like I said,
we got way off track.
we just went on a tangent. Anyway,
we really
Bryson,
did.
my little girlies, is my pick to Total Rebuild. Now, I went through several options, going back and forth. I mean, there's so many different ways you can go, so many different ways you can pick. But this was the one that I thought would be the best, considering your risk versus reward. So as far as keepers, I suggested he keep Chris Carson, which is his 9th pick, Kenyon Drake, which is his 12th, Juju Smith-Schuster, which is his 4th, Alec Ogletree, which is his 6th, and Eric Weddle, who is his 11th. All right. Now,
I love some like the Juju and the Eric Weddle. I think it's a ton of value for those guys.
Yeah.
Even though it was
Yeah.
3-1.
Juju's a must.
The only
yes.
one that I'm on the fence about is Kenyon Drake.
Yeah.
But the only reason I'm saying
Yeah.
to keep him for 12th round, great value. Frank Gore's gone. Adam Gase held back Drake as being the future running back. We don't know how Drake's going to do. So risk versus reward here. 12th round pick, you're not going to get a gem anyway. You're basically just shooting in the dark. So might as well, with the players that he had, I mean, you could also keep Demarius Randall for a third or keep Malcolm Jenkins for a second. But like I said, this is one of the scenarios I went. Kenyon Drake for 12th, not bad value.
Yeah, that's
Pair
fair.
him with Chris Carson.
Yeah.
All right, so like I said, Malcolm Jenkins and Demarius Randall, I would try to trade those for some picks. There's some top DBs. They are top DBs, and you could try to get some picks for them. Obviously, like I said, you could keep one, or you could just let him walk and try to redraft him. I mean, Bryson's in a great spot to get some really good draft picks because he's the worst in our conference. So waiver wire picks. I'm saying go receiver. He made a trade with Cameron to get Baker Mayfield. So now he's at the ass end of the second round. He's got back-to-back picks. So with that first one, I'm saying go receiver. I'm thinking Will Fuller, Tyler Lockett, Alshon Jeffrey, Kenny Galladay are still going to be there. Because like I said, a lot of our picks are being filled with trades. So even though it's at the end of the second round, it's really more like the end of the first, considering all the picks that are being filled. So my second waiver wire pick, I'm saying go DB. Maybe like a Justin Evans, Marcus May, Josh Jones. I didn't put him in here, but a Kentrell Bryce. You don't know how he's going to play in Tampa.
I like Justin Evans a lot. I like him a lot. And Marcus May's solid next to Jamal Adams too. I mean, there's a good
and Josh Jones, haha's gone. Kentrell Bryce is gone. He's really the only DB on the team still.
Yeah.
So even if they draft one, the chances of them starting two rookies are pretty low, and they seem to be pretty high on Josh Jones. So we'll see. Third waiver wire pick. Now this is where I got a little creative. I made a trade with myself. I traded Bryson, Corey Littleton for a third pick, third round pick. So Corey Littleton was a top 5 linebacker last year.
Okay.
For a third rounder.
No, yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's really great value for him. Because if you're looking at his first overall pick in the regular draft, Corey Littleton's going to be there as a potential guy. So to get him in the third, I mean, that's great. I mean, that's just fantastic value. And like I said, waiver wire pick 4 was Baker Mayfield, which he got in the trade with Cameron. All right, so as far as rookies, unfortunately, Bryson doesn't know that much about rookies that are coming out of college and doesn't have enough quality top picks to really make a gamble on a rookie. Nice little emoji somebody put on there. So he's only got a first or second round pick out of 8 rounds. So I would just say, Bryce, just stick to what you know. You don't know rookies. Don't waste one of those quality picks, your first or second round pick on a rookie. So unless you find a trade candidate for Jenkins or Randall, at that point, you maybe could gamble with that pick if you wanted to. But go into the draft focusing on the best available pick in the first 2 rounds. Sounds cliche, but it's true. Stick to it. Not many people are blessed with the first overall pick, so go get the biggest, baddest player that you can. I'm projecting, I was trying to look at all the rosters in ours and keepers and everything else. I'm thinking Harrison Smith is going to be one that he's probably going to consider to be the number 1. Do I think he's a number 1? The first overall? No. But as far as value and the other options, he's probably about as good as you can get. And I'm thinking he's going to go Jalen Smith in the second round.
Yeah.
Linebacker from the Cowboys. So another advice, draft DN in the 8th, like a Chandler Jones, Myles Garrett, Kenny Galladay. And after that, just go with your
Kenny Clark.
Yeah, Kenny Clark. My bad. After that, go with your offensive depth before defense. There's going to be a limit in offensive players, so just get as many as you can. Defense you'll find throughout the season. So with all that being said, project the starting lineup. Baker Mayfield, quarterback. Running backs, Chris Carson, Kenyon Drake. Wide receiver, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyler Lockett. Offensive line or deep rusher, whatever you want to call it, Kenny Clark. Linebackers, Corey Littleton, Alec Ogletree, Jalen Smith. DBs, Harrison Smith, Eric Weddle, and Justin Evans. If he listens to me, which I'm going to text him and tell him to listen to me, he's going to be able to compete in that division with this team because his division's pretty weak.
I was gonna
and
say
he can
compete.
He could easily flip last year with this team.
Yeah, he'll run it over.
I'm kind of surprised. I'm surprised he didn't have Joe Schobert on there as a keeper or person to trade away.
He can't have the one person. So he traded me his 5th round pick, which is Joe Schobert's keeper value. Yeah. So he can't keep him.
Oh man!
I thought about redrafting him, but I don't think he's worth the first overall pick. And now,
oh no, he's not.
He's not going to be
you
there.
You get him much later.
He's not going to be there in the 2nd round. I feel like you're going to get him because you're so high on him in the 2nd round. So that's why I just wanted to go with somebody else. But easily, one of my other initial ones that I did, I had him redraft as Joe Schobert 2nd round. But I wanted to try somebody else that would probably be around there. But yeah.
I mean, I could see Schobert falling to the 3rd round because, like I said, most people in most IDP leagues, I think kind of disrespect Joe. Yeah, they sleep on him every year, and he's very consistent. He's not going to put up flashy numbers, but he's going to put up very consistent numbers. You know what I mean?
I like this. I mean, this is a 6-win roster right here, just off the bat at the end of the draft. Kenny Clark, solid, great linebacking core, really solid DB core. Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyler. I mean, you don't really need a ton of receivers. Running back is probably the weakest area, but you can win without having a dominant running back if you're strong everywhere else.
And like I said, you have Chris Carson, who's going to be your ground and pound guy. He's not going to give you, fantastic RB1 numbers, but he's solid. Kenyon Drake's the question mark. He can either boom or bust. We really don't know because he was never really truly utilized correctly. So that's what I'm saying. It's worth kind of just taking that risk. I mean, we really don't know. It could be a complete bust, but guess what? It's just a 12th round pick. So take your loss and move on.
And I could see Bryson going like Freeman in the 1st round of the waiver wire just to add more depth there. So that is kind of a concern. And I think Freeman's going to be a pretty decent running back this year.
Yeah, I thought about him. But remember with the trades, I thought about maybe like Sony Michel, but I didn't know if he would last until the ass end of the 2nd round.
I might
keep his first pick.
I might keep Sony over Kerryon Johnson, by the way. The Ballers have him a lot higher than Johnson, so now I'm all confused.
But anyway, that was my total rebuild for Bryson. So, Bryson, hope you take some advice, and we'll turn your season around next year.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. I like that starting roster a lot. That's solid. So my pick here, I'll go next. I've got Kevin from Secure to Pound. I've got him starting off keeping DJ Swearinger with his 6th and Kenny Galladay with his 9th. That's literally all he can keep. The rest of the roster's trash. We're gonna tear it down and start over. So keep Swearinger, keep Kenny Galladay. Trade Sean Williams for an above-average linebacker. Target teams that can't keep their linebackers after next season, like Blake Martinez, I think is who I have him targeting. Sean Williams had a lot of value after this year. I like him a lot next year, but I don't like him 1st round value a lot, which is what he would be on Kevin's team. I want to use those picks for other things. So trade him away for like a Blake Martinez and move forward. Right after that, try to trade Devontae Casey, Trey Boston, Danny Trevathan for maybe some mid-round picks that we can use in the rookie draft. We're going to use that pick on Devin White. I know those guys aren't going to go super high in rookie drafts. I know that, with the depth they're going to have, they're not going to pay as much as we're going to pay for Devin White. So I would have him probably using a 4th round pick for Devin White or something along those lines. 5th round pick for Devin White there. Right after that, we get into the waiver wire. So 1st round, go after a running back because there are none on the team. There's guys there like LaShawn McCoy, Tevin Coleman, Marlon Mack, Kerryon Johnson, Jordan Howard, Lamar Miller, Sony Michel, Aaron Jones, Latavius Murray. I don't know if every single one of them will be there, but if you get a guy like Kerryon Johnson, which is what I have projected, that's solid depth. You don't want him as your RB1, but you got to do what you got to do when you're starting over. 2nd round pick, we're going to pick a DB to add to Swearinger. Eric Weddle is who I have him targeting, but like Isaac mentioned, Justin Evans is there, Marcus May's there, Jaquiski Tartt, Andrew Sendejo, Eric Berry, Earl Thomas, but Earl Thomas I wouldn't really pick there if I could help it. Third round waiver wire, we're going for receiver, just like Isaac mentioned. Tyler Boyd, Tyler Lockett, Julian Edelman, Chris Godwin, Larry Fitz, Alshon Jeffrey, Golden Tate, Deshaun Jackson, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Doug Baldwin. All those guys look like they may be available.
Damn. I mean, you could have just gave us like 3. You didn't have to give us the whole
I know
options for wide receivers.
No, I know, but it sounds like all those guys are going to be there, and I love. I mean, I like a lot of them more than others, but I mean, get a Chris Godwin or a Cooper Kupp. I mean, you're set. And then I projected he won't have the 4th waiver wire pick because of a trade for Blake Martinez. So now we're going to go into the draft. Open the draft with the best player available. Do not draft a quarterback until round 5 or 7. You'll have to settle for who's there, but it's going to be fine. Just like Isaac mentioned, do not draft a defensive end until late, preferably the 8th round or later, and especially not till after you draft a quarterback. So I know I went through that quickly, but I wanted to have time to talk about it. So here's what your starting roster would look like. I didn't go into depth because you have to make a lot of assumptions when you start talking about the 4th round of the draft and things like that. So I just did just the starting roster. We've got Jameis Winston at quarterback, who I like this year. You were so quiet the whole 3 minutes.
I know. I was just ready. Have my mouth open and everything. That's what she said.
Oh, okay. Yep, you beat me to it. Hold on.
That's what she said.
I just heard you scream into my headphones just now. So Jameis Winston, quarterback. Kerryon Johnson is your starting running back. You can add depth in the draft, like a Mark Ingram or someone like that. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay and Cooper Kupp. I think that's solid. Defensive end Myles Garrett, just because he finished somewhere like a 10 last year, and I just projected a guy that would be around there. Linebacking core Blake Martinez and Devin White. Starting defensive backs DJ Swearinger, Eric Weddle, and Justin Simmons, who I projected with the 1st pick in the draft for Kevin. So that's a pretty solid roster, I think. I mean, that's a 6-win roster right there. And as long as you do some waiver wire stuff, you're a playoff contender, I think, in that conference for sure. But any thoughts?
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing I would really be kind of worried on is your wide receiver core. But at that point, you could just play the waiver wire and get whoever is performing just to fill in. You don't really have a great option. Cooper Kupp's, like you said, coming off injury. Kenny Golladay, I don't like, but you guys love him. So, yeah, that's really your only weak spot there. But, I mean, that's a pretty solid team, yeah.
And Cooper Kupp, you could switch him out for whoever you feel good about. Like, I like Chris Godwin more, but I just – I didn't want to give him the best of everyone available, so I gave him someone who I think –
I was going to say, I thought Cooper Kupp's the best out of all of them, but, yeah, sure.
Kupp, Godwin, and you'll add depth too. So once he gets in the 2nd round, 3rd round of the draft, he'll add another guy like I don't know, DJ Moore. If they're not capped.
Oh God, the way to throw another Panther out there.
Yeah, I got to talk about a Panther.
Dude, I like DJ Moore too, man. I'm really big on him.
But the linebacker, but the defense, I'm really heavy on defense. That's my strategy. That's my makeup, and that's what this would look like too.
One thing I will say, if they trade Sean Williams for Blake Martinez, they're crazy. That's just my take on it. I like Blake Martinez much better than Sean Williams. I'm not a fan of Sean Williams, but that's just me. And if it works out that way,
I would say they're very even.
Yeah. See,
I would say they're very even, especially if you have to get rid of Martinez this year. I think Cody has him.
Yeah, he does. This is last year with him.
Yeah, I would say it's very even. Sean Williams was DB4 last year.
Yeah, where was he the year before that? Averaged like 22 points a game. I mean, I just don't trust him. That's just me. But anyway, that's going to be an argument that will probably last for another 10, 15 minutes. So.
Yeah, no, we'll have to talk about that when we do all the rankings episode later in the offseason. So, but no, that's a good roster. That's 6 wins right there for you, Kevin. So that's like 5 more wins than you've ever gotten in a season. So.
Shots fired.
I don't know.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah, shots fired. Shots fired. So if anyone's listening, if Kevin's not, anyone's listening wants to help Kevin out, give him that, and I can send this to him. But yeah, Pat, I think it's up to you, man.
Yeah. So I kind of went in a different direction. I obviously picked a team that needs to rebuild, but one that's probably in a tougher situation than both of these other two teams because the division he's in. I picked Storm.
Boom, roasted.
What?
No, Storm. I mean, listen, man, he's in a tough division. I don't like even like an absolute animal at fantasy football. I don't think they're going to be able to surpass Cody in just 1 year. I think it's going to take multiple seasons. So essentially, what Storm's competing for is a wild card spot, and the chances of 3 teams in that division again making the playoffs are going to be slim to none.
Unless you're our division.
And I think it's gonna, yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough. And so this is kind of what I started out with. Michael Thomas is a must keep for a 6th round pick. That is a steal. He'd probably go in the 1st round in that draft if he wasn't kept. Alshon Jeffrey, another one. I don't love Alshon Jeffrey as a fantasy wide receiver, but he's a good number 2 guy. You could have maybe even a number 3, kind of depending on what we're able to do in the waiver wire. We're not talking about in a minute. And another guy, some people may be surprised by this. I've got Eric Kendricks as a keeper for Storm with an 8th round pick. He's a guy that consistently averages like upper 20s a game, which is pretty solid for a flex player. And if my flex player is putting up 28 points a game, I'm very satisfied with that. And that is performance I feel comfortable with winning week in and week out, especially if he's my number 2 flex player. So those are the 3 guys that I'm definitely keeping. Some of these other guys I'm about to list, trade if you can, but don't just give them away. If you're going to do that, you might as well keep them. And I'm going to start out with Melvin Gordon. He's a 7th round pick, is extremely cheap, but he's in the last year of his contract. He's a guy that I would try to see if I could sell him and swap him for another running back. There's other guys in this conference that could definitely benefit from having Melvin Gordon for 2 more years, and Storm could benefit from getting a running back who's going to be around a little bit longer and who has a better track record of staying healthy. My other guy, I've got him trading away, Levante David.
Shout out.
A guy who's got 1 more year. He'd be a 3rd round pick for him, which I still think is great value for him. But again, he could go in there and swap out easily. We were talking about, possibly Kevin not being able to make that trade with Cody. I think you could make a stronger argument, Levante David, for Blake Martinez. And I think Cody would bite that a lot faster, and he could beat him out in that trade, or even get a better linebacker than Martinez too. Another guy in this one, I'm thinking years out right now, and that's why I have him potentially trading away Kevin Byard, the 2nd overall pick. He's worth it. He's worth the 2nd overall pick, and he's got him for 2 more years.
2nd overall or 2nd round?
But if I can free
2nd round.
2nd round. Sorry. Yeah, 2nd round. Sorry about that. No, he's got 2 more years, which is great. But if I could swap him out for a DB that's equal in talent and a guy who's trying to get rid of a guy who's on their last year of their contract, I'm definitely making that move if I'm Storm, so I can free up that 2nd round pick. And I'm diving into that in a minute, what I would do with that pick if we're able to do it. But some guys, you got to trade no matter what. Andrew Luck for our 1st round pick. I know Storm's a huge Colts fan, and he'll probably go against me on this and keeps Andrew Luck anyways with the 1st overall pick. But man, he's not worth it. There's way bigger holes in this roster. And in fact, you could trade Andrew Luck for another quarterback if you really wanted to and swap him out. Same with Demario Davis. I don't know how much you're going to get for him, but he's a 5th round pick. I don't think he's worth it. I think you could trade him and get someone better, or just get another draft pick because it's better than Demario Davis. And especially, like I said, the picks are going to be everything for Storm, and he needs as many as possible to be able to compete with Cody from years out. First waiver wire pick, I got him going best running back or receiver available, like Marlon Mack, Sony Michel, Devontae Freeman, George Kittle. No one's really mentioning him, but in my opinion, he might arguably be a high-end tight end 2, or not tight end 2, tier 2 tight end, maybe even a low tier 1 tight end this coming year. I really like him, and I think he could be a starter over Alshon Jeffrey on his roster. And another guy that no one's really talking about, Eric Reed. If Jordan doesn't keep him, then Eric Reed is an instant starter on almost anyone's roster. I know a lot of people shy away from him. They think he's a little bit older. He's only 27 years old. He's still got years left in him. And, I mean, he only played part of the season last year. He's pretty healthy. And I think he's going to end up being a DB1 for sure this coming season. So that's kind of what I've got first waiver wire pick. Second one, I see us going best flex player available, regardless of position. Guys like Eric Berry are an option, but they're risky at the same time because of the injury history. So just kind of going best overall in that second round. It's really hard to play that out, especially with this conference. And then waiver wires 3 and 4, based off all the trades I've got going on, more likely we're not going to even, that's not even going to be an option for us. But again, go for a guy like Larry Fitzgerald, old, but probably is going to thrive if the Cardinals can get a new quarterback on their team. And he'll be a great sub for Alshon Jeffrey on a bye week. So that's kind of what I see us going there. For the draft, I'm big on defense, but it doesn't take an IDP guru to recognize that this linebacker core for Storm is going to need some help and should have plenty of linebacker talent and from the pick he's going to have in the first round. May not have a second round pick here, just kind of depending on whether or not he keeps Kevin Byard, that is. But yeah, that's kind of what I see him doing, is really strengthening that defense in the first 2 rounds. I'm not sure if we're going to see a ton of offensive guys in the draft this year, especially in the top shot, as they seem to value offensive players more in general. So I see a lot more people keeping them or getting them off the waiver wire. So I don't see us having a ton in the first 2 rounds, first 3 rounds, even first 4 rounds of the draft. So you guys are like me. I'm going best available here. I'm just going to build the best defense I can, centered around a guy like Eric Hendricks, who's going to come in and be hopefully my number 2 flex player.
Word.
Yeah. No, I love these moves. A lot of movement on both sides, a lot of good value on the waiver wire. Marlon Mack, Sonny Michel, I like those guys a lot. I think Larry Fitz is a good value if you get him really, really late, especially with, like you said, with Kyler Murray or someone like that. I wouldn't be as excited if it was Josh Rosen, but I like this a lot.
Oh yeah, no. Josh Rosen's there. Do not get
you should have put like a starting roster together so Storm could kind of hear what it's like.
Yeah, I can list it out just so you can kind of have an idea. So quarterback, obviously that's a big question mark, but hopefully we're able to swap out QBs with those trades. Receiver though, guaranteed Alshon Jeffrey and Michael Thomas. Eric Kendricks at linebacker. We're gonna have to go get a defensive end later in the draft, or maybe with that 3rd or 4th waiver wire pick. But like I said earlier, our running back is going to hopefully be someone at equal values Melvin Gordon, or keeping Melvin Gordon for that 7th round pick.
So maybe swap Melvin Gordon by like David Johnson or someone like that.
Correct. Yeah. And then on top of that, you're going to have a guy like Sonny Michel to back him up, or Devontae Freeman. So yeah, I feel very comfortable with that roster. Like I said, you're going to have to use those first couple of picks in the in the draft to address the issues on defense, because we're not going to have a ton there, especially if we don't keep Kevin Byard. And that's why I kind of like Eric Reed also in the first or second round of the waiver wire if you can get him.
I could see him easily keep it luck with the first round pick.
I could too, and I hope he doesn't.
Just screwing everything.
If he does that, that's going to keep him from making the wild card, and definitely keep being able to ever compete with Cody. Because he values Colts players too much.
And one thing
Stop
I wanted to
keeping quarterbacks for first round picks. Stop doing it.
Unless it's Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, why I wanted to shed some light on, George Kittle thrived last year without Jimmy G. I mean, he had a no-name college quarterback throwing to him. I mean, I really don't know his name. I thought it was C.J. Beathard, but he got cut, I think.
Nick Mullins.
And now Nick Mullins. There you go. No idea who that is. But anyway, he still thrived. And the big 3, I mean, I think he's a tight end 1. You got Ertz, you got Kelsey.
Oh, he's definitely a tight end 1.
You said low tight end 2.
Yeah,
tier 2.
I think he's a tier 1 anyway. But
Kittle, Ertz, Kelsey.
In that
Kittle,
order?
Ertz, Kelsey are the big 3. No order. Just that's the big 3. Since Gronk's gone, that's the big 3 tight ends.
That's been the 3 since Gronk's, even though Gronk's been there the last few years. That's been the big 3.
Kittle just broke out last year. Before that, he wasn't really big.
He started breaking out the year before last year is when I really knew who he was. But then he really hit it big last year when he broke the receiving records for tight ends in a season. Great season.
Ertz broke it, and then the next week, Kittle broke it.
I think Kelsey broke it either before or after Ertz, and then Kittle broke it in the last week of the season.
Yeah, I mean, they all have some great seasons.
But Pat, yeah, man, so that's Total Rebuild. If you guys are listening, do those things. If you're not, hopefully someone was, and we'll give you some direction. But Pat, we'll let you finish it off. We've got the game of the week, the first reveal for the first game of the week for the schedule for 2019.
Yeah. So like Jameson said, we're going to be doing weeks 3 to 1, but we're going to start off with week 3, the game of the week. And this is a good one. I'm extremely excited. Both very successful owners. We've got Hunter of Champions, that is, going up against Jameson in week 3. That's going to be a solid, very solid matchup, and it's the game of the week. Both owners, Hunter's never missed the playoffs. Jameson hasn't missed the playoffs since what, 2015 maybe.
15.
Jameson, am I remember?
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and two owners with great track records. I'm really excited for it. I think their divisions are similar in talent too, so they're both easily the best teams.
So basically,
divisions.
they have no competition, either one of them. Gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
God, I'm never gonna hear it. I want Isaac to move to my division for 1 year just so I don't have to hear it anymore.
He has no idea about our division. I mean, all 3 of us made the playoffs. That's how tough our division is. We always split with everybody, just because it's a never-ending thing.
Ugh.
He can make all the
you gotta go to 11, man.
noises he wants to in the background. He knows it's true.
I'm trying. There are some other great matchups that week too, but this is one that just really jumps out because of the fact that not only is this game against 2 teams that will more than likely make the playoffs this coming year. I feel very strongly saying that.
Just good.
But seeding implications are on the line here. If you think about it, if they're both locked in playoff teams, Hunter loses this game. This may be the first year where he doesn't get a first round bye, and now he's playing in the wild card. How does he maneuver through that? Or Jameson, this is the difference between him getting maybe like a top 2 seed or maybe getting a 3rd or 4th seed. So it's gonna be great. I think it's a game I'm super pumped at. I didn't take a lot of notes or anything about it, the historical stuff. We'll worry about that when we get to week 3.
There is none.
And we don't have a ton of time to talk about it.
There's no history
both
there.
franchises, kind of what you guys.
Oh yeah, we'll do that during the season. But yeah, no history. We never played each other that I know of. And this is a new year. This is the first year structure where we're actually playing 3 interconference games instead of just 1 at the end of the season. So this is a unique structure that we haven't had in a few years. So I'm pretty excited to see how it goes. Playing interconference before week 12.
I still like Bryce and Kevin better, but whatever.
Oh God.
Try not to make a spoiler, but they actually do play each other this year at some point.
Oh
so
my God. All right. So we already know that's the game of the week for whatever week that is.
Both of the
Total Rebuild teams are facing off.
Oh yeah, then that'd be cool. Hopefully what if they're both really good this year, and so it becomes instead of like a toilet bowl game, it becomes like a playoff,
What if they actually listen to all of our stuff and they're both competitive? Like that could be an actual game.
I hope they do.
That'd be fun. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be fun. Do. They both score like 320 points or something like that, 350 points. They just battle it out, and then they go on to win their divisions and get the 1 seed in both conferences, and that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Now I'm just dreaming. Yeah, that's it for the show, guys. We've already talked about some of the announcements, like the Twitter page, comment on YouTube. We'll be, like I said, here in the next few weeks, starting some sort of giveaway. People who are commenting, interactive. We want your thoughts. We'll see what you think, what your favorite parts are, what you like, what you don't like. So let us know. And that's it for the show. So we will be back next week. The next 2 weeks are rookie episodes. So if you don't know a lot about rookies, want to know more about rookies, aren't sure how to draft rookies, anything like that, tune in. As we're doing a lot of draft preview, we're doing a lot of rookie history, and we're even mock drafting the first round in a couple weeks. So tune into that. And with that, we are out. So we will see you guys.
Deuces.
See you guys next week. Later. Should I cut all this out, or should I just let it run when we produce this? Just let it.